Hello and welcome to the newest episode of Blue Collar Racing Podcast. I have a real treat for you guys today. I got Kevin, the owner of Full Send Diesel.
How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. So tell us about yourself, where your shop is, what all you guys do, how long you've been doing it. Just give us a good rundown about you guys.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Kevin Kubanek. I'm the owner of Full Send Diesel. I am currently 24 years old. We've been in business since March of 2019. That's when I formed the LLC. At least I kind of started out selling stuff on Marketplace, so I wasn't fully LLC'd for a short period of time there. So we've officially been in business for about 4 or 5 years. I actually started this business basically when I was 18 or 19. I was down in Camp Lejeune, stationed down there in the Marine Corps. And basically I had a third gen just like everyone else has a third gen. And me and my buddies would work on it on the weekends. And I ordered like a dual CP3 kit from a company. I actually don't want to name their name because I don't want to make it sound like it was bad or anything. I was just picky, but we were installing that in, like, my buddy's driveway on the weekend because we didn't have anywhere to work on stuff. And basically it was like all 3/8 like fuel lines with like brass tees. And I was running like a 1/2 inch, fast line and everything. So I was like, I couldn't get it to adapt, and I didn't have a shop with like a whole bunch of, extra parts and fittings laying around to make stuff work. So I went down to like Ace Hardware and was trying to find some fittings to rig up to get, to work on Monday for the Marine Corps. And I saw some like braided sink hoses, and I was like, that looks cool. I was like, maybe I could make them out of that because I know they have automotive versions. So basically what I did was I did end up getting something to get me back to base so I could get to PT the next morning. But basically I went online and first I went to eBay and I just bought a bunch of different AN fittings and started learning about those. And basically what happened was I made a kit that split the fuel supply line into two. That was all 1/2 inch for each CP3, nothing crazy. Anyway, I thought it was like the world's craziest product. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. I got to sell this to everyone. And basically started posting it up on like Facebook groups. And I was like, hey, we have these dual CP3 splitters and they're great and everything. And honestly, no one bought them. Like, I maybe sold 3. We actually don't even sell it today because it was such a bad seller because, you have like the nice distribution blocks and all that. But what did happen was a lot of people wanted other things like transmission lines or turbo feed and drain lines and stuff like that. So I said, heck, yeah, I can do that. So I'd go out in the barracks parking lot, pulled my trans lines off, figured out what the fitting sizes were and all that, started teaching myself. And basically that's kind of how everything started. And from the braided lines, we kind of blew up and went from braided lines to all kinds of fabricated components. Throughout the years, I've also done like a lot of really, really cool custom builds in the shop, compound kits and all kinds of cool stuff like that. I guess from there, we kind of just kept growing, and we still are. We have a lot of products in the works right now, mostly for Cummins platforms and stuff like that.
I like the story about like you going out, taking your transmission lines apart and figuring out the fittings and stuff. I mean, AN lines are the way to go.
Yep, for sure. And that's why, like, I've had a lot of people ask me in the past, like, for fitting sizes, and it's like, if they're nice, I'll usually give them to them. But if they're not nice, I usually don't because, like, I spent time on the ground in the dirt, pulling my lines off and stuff to get those measurements so that I could try to make a business out of it. So, yeah, I mean, it's all relevant stuff. But I got out of the Marine Corps about 2 years ago, and basically I went full-time with Full Send Diesel. And we're currently located in Montgomery, Pennsylvania, although we are expanding hopefully to a newer, larger shop that we have in the works right now. So yeah, that's where we're at currently. We do have a couple custom builds going on top of the giveaway trucks. We have about like two compound turboed 5.9s in here that we're working on. It should be about 13 or 1400 horse. And then on top of that, I guess like the giveaways and stuff, we can get into some of that if the viewers are interested.
Yeah, of course. Tell us how that works, how people can get entered, and what got you started in doing the giveaways.
Yeah, for sure.
What made you start doing how, all that stuff?
Yep. So basically, I keep saying basically, it's my word today. Our first giveaway was a silver single cab, third gen that basically I wasn't planning on giving it away when I bought it. I was down in North Carolina, and this was when the business started to pick up. I was still full-time in the Marine Corps, getting off 5, 6 p.m. And then I would literally boots and utes, go right into my shop and work till midnight, 1 a.m. just about every single day. And then I'd get up, 4 a.m. for PT and be back over there. But anyway, I found this truck from this guy named Dustin Levitt. I think I said that right. But he originally had it, and I went down to Georgia, picked it up from him. I got it pretty cheap. It had like a full roll cage, and it was built at one point, but he basically blew the motor apart, so it didn't come with a motor, and it was just the roller with a bunch of bins of parts. And basically I spent a couple months, putting everything back together, getting a motor for it, building the motor, fabbing up all the compounds and the piping and all that good stuff, and basically built a really, really, really nice single cab truck that should make about 1,000 horsepower. And then I don't know, I actually honestly don't remember like the thought process of what happened, like where I was like, hey, I should just try to give this away. I honestly can't tell you like where that came from, but I was like, one day I was like, I'm gonna try to give this thing away and see what happens. And I did, and it did pretty good. So then after that, what I did was I launched our second one, which was a 2015 blacked out F350 Platinum with $15,000 cash on top. And honestly, that one I ended up losing. Like a lot of people think with giveaways, you're rich. It's like so far from the case. It's not even funny. On that truck, I actually lost about $50,000 on. Poor marketing. You gotta be on point and constantly planning ahead when you do these giveaways. So I lost a good bit of money on that. And honestly, if I was just a giveaway company, I wouldn't be in business right now. I would have been another failed giveaway company. I just had other streams of revenue coming in from all my products. So that was able to actually keep me afloat through FSD2. And I don't want to say like we were about to go, we weren't, but, it was still a pretty good hard hit. And I was like 20 at the time, still in the Marine Corps. So it was like, it was a pretty good hit, but, got through that. And then we built FSD3, which was a single cab second gen. We did like a full frame off restoration, and then made it look very, very nice inside and out. That one did pretty good. The winner's actually from California, and he drove it from PA all the way back to California. And, man, that trip had to have sucked. That's gotta be terrible. But now, we just wrapped up with FSD4, as I'm sure you've seen, the red third gen. That's pretty notorious for getting sideways on the street. And I actually have the winner. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. It's Ron Ouellette, I believe, from Midland, Texas. So he'll be flying in on Friday, actually, the 9th. So I'm going to pick him up from the airport, and then he's going to come here, pick up the truck, give him the title, $5,000 cash, and then he'll be on his way driving that thing all the way back to Texas. So, that's that. Those are the 4 we've done so far. I'm kind of, figuring out now, and it takes a lot of giveaways, honestly. Like each one I learn more and more and more on. Like a lot of people think, again, like you do a giveaway and it's like, oh my God, you're rich. Like it's so easy. You're just, it could not be farther from the case. And when people ask me about like giveaway advice, there's one thing that I can tell you, because I can't give you all my secrets. You know what I mean? I've learned that through hard work, losing money, a lot of stress. So I can't give you guys all of that information. The one thing I can say is if you're going to try to do a giveaway, make sure that whatever you're giving away, make sure you can financially and mentally be able to just give that away without making a single dime, because that's what you have to be prepared for, pretty much. So that's that. And then we actually just launched FSD5. That's our 2000, I think it's 2003. Sorry, I have so many third gens floating around here. I'm like 2003, 2004. It's a 2003, I believe. It's got 73,000 miles on it. That truck we did not actually build. All the previous giveaway trucks we did build. I'm not like a lot of the fake YouTubers who would call it a build and say they built it. I didn't build it. Derek Rose at DNR Customs, I believe, did most of the work. I have a lot of receipts from him. And he did an absolutely flawless job on the truck. Basically, the only thing we did was the wrap, wheels, tires, paint match, a bunch of stuff, tint, and a couple other minor things. But the truck's already making about 800 horse. It already had a built trans and all of that. It takes too much time to build these trucks properly for us to be able to give them away consistently. Like, we don't want to have another like whole year gap before we do another giveaway. So unfortunately for now, I pick trucks that are still very nice and that are built right, and then I can tell they're built right, and then I get them, we add a little twist to them. But we will be building more in the future. As I noted earlier in the conversation, I am in the process of actually buying a house, building a shop on the land and all of that. So I have like a crap ton of stuff going on. So like, I'm actually not going to have a big shop in probably a couple months if I close on this house. There's a small like 24 by 40 on it. So that's smaller than what we're in currently, and it's going to be a struggle. So I won't be able to do any like fabrication. I won't be able to do any powder coat. So it's going to be limited to basically just everyday operations like offices, shelving for all the products that we stock, and then shipping and all that until I get the shop built on the property. So that's the main reason for us not, going crazy with another full frame off restoration right now. Well, actually, sorry, I can't say that. We have a third gen right now that's up in New York at John Decker. He's our paint guy. He basically handles all the paint and body work for our giveaways. I forgot about that one. I put it up there a couple months ago, and he actually just went out on his own and got a paint booth put up in his shop and everything. So if you guys, anyone on here wants a, crazy good body work done, I've had I'm trying to think 3 or 4 trucks, maybe even more, done by him. And there's a reason why I drive 4 hours each way to bring him trucks, and it's because he does a damn good job. So he does have a third gen short bed over there that we're painting a pretty sweet color, and that one's actually going to be on an 8-inch lift with 26 by 16s. So I wanted to try a lifted one. It's not really my taste. I like, lowered, maybe leveled with 33s. But I can't keep building every single giveaway truck lowered on 22 by 12s. I gotta flip it up and try to appeal to other markets. So, that's pretty much where we're at with that.
Nice. It definitely takes a lot of time building the truck.
Yes.
And right now, just waiting for parts is crazy. I know on my personal build, I'm still waiting on some parts. And I know for a shop, it has to be very frustrating at times trying to get parts in, try and find time to work on everything, and then having a big job like a frame off or something like that. That's definitely hard to fit into the schedule all the time.
Yep. I will say the frame off part, John handles all that up at the paint shop. He pulls it off, he cleans the frame, and he does the actual physical frame off part, and then I go and pick the truck up once the cab's back on the frame. But I build the transmissions myself in-house, I build the engines myself in-house. And I'm not an expert engine builder or trans builder. I want to make that a point here. But I have built probably 30 or 40, maybe 50 48s between the giveaway trucks, myself and friends, and a couple customers I have done them for. It's just it's not my cup of tea, not something I want to deal with. And the person who kind of helped me a lot with learning how to do these 48s and stuff was Chris at CG Performance Transmissions. So he used to help me a lot, and he still does, back when I was in North Carolina, and I ended up moving up here to PA about an hour and a half from him. And when I moved up, I texted him. I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, not that maybe you don't care, but I'm not going to be building transmissions for people, just so you know. I was like, I know you taught me a lot, and I don't want to move up here and take any business from anyone. Not that I don't think he would care anyway, but I try to, give him that bit of respect because he gave me some trade secrets and stuff like that. And that man really, really knows his stuff when it comes to transmissions. So
he does. He makes a very good transmission, and that truck he has, that street truck slash
yep.
truck he has, that thing is absolutely gorgeous.
Yep. He was, every time I go over there, I stare at it for because I'll go down there and pick up parts for transmission builds, and I'm like, man, this thing is so nice. And he drives it what is that thing, over 2,000 horsepower, I'm pretty sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's got to be. It's got to be. And, he's like, I just drive it to, the coffee shop and stuff. I'll take the wife and the kids out. I'm like, damn, that's freaking awesome, man. I thought I was cool doing it with, 800,000 horsepower third. I didn't think I was cool. I mean, there's a lot of people doing that, but it's pretty cool to see when you have a truck at that level. I'm doing stuff like that, so it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and that's also the crazy part nowadays. It's not uncommon to see a 800 to 1,000 horsepower truck on the street.
Yeah,
and
no, not at all, not at all.
I remember when I was first getting into diesels in 2014, 2015, the Diesel Power Challenge, they were out there putting up 1,1700 horsepower, and they were excited.
Yeah, yep. And those were full sled pulling trucks, wild. And now people are just street driving them like it's nothing, going to get Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks.
Exactly, and it's crazy how much everything has evolved from. If you had 1,000 horsepower back in 2012, you were doing something. Now, you can pick out.
Now it's just a street truck, man. That's just a regular streeter. 1,000 horse is just typical.
Yeah, and now everybody's pushing for that 25 to 3,000 horsepower mark.
Yep.
And
it's crazy. I wonder where the limit is. Where is the true limit?
I have no clue. I know, the fire pump guys and the stainless guys and those motors that D&J are coming out with, they got to be well over 3,000. They haven't actually dynoed and put the numbers.
I mean, you also got Chris Patterson and Josh McCormick. I saw him at UCC. I wasn't there, but I watched videos. I was working. He did good. He was, I think, just under the 3,000 mark.
Yeah, and he's put up 3,000 before on different dynos. I know that dyno out there is tough.
Yeah, I can tell you, he's one too who has really, really put in the work over the years. Really, really put in a lot of work, and he's actually helped me with a couple things as well. But yeah, it's pretty awesome to see where people come from and where they go now. I was I saw that and I was like, holy crap. I was like, he's freaking killing it out there. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to be doing a podcast with Hunter Coffee in the next few days.
Okay. I actually have one or his brother's truck in here, his brother Brandon's.
Oh, nice.
I'm doing a set of compounds and a whole bunch of other stuff. The thing's going to be pretty dang slick when it's done. That's
awesome, yeah. He's going to be on the podcast talking about what it's like to compete in UCC.
Heck yeah.
Because I know it's a lot of work and a lot of prep.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Brandon. He was supposed to bring some parts up here, and he was like, man, I'm so busy with the UCC prep and everything. I was like, you're good, man.
Yeah, I know what I go through just to go to Truck Wars, or I came up to Pennsylvania last year and was at East Coast Diesel Nationals.
Okay.
And prep work to do all that stuff. I know I couldn't imagine UCC.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine going there set up to race and everything too, because I don't go to too many events. Because right now we're probably still currently we're very understaffed. And honestly, we need a bigger building, which is, again, we're in the middle of all of that. But right now, we don't go to too many events because, the amount of work and time and money that it costs to, get all kinds of products on display and pack up everything and, bring the giveaway trucks and make sure everything's clean. It's it is a lot of work. And then you're looking at, thousands and thousands of dollars just to go to an event for a weekend. And as much as I hate to say it, and it's not all about the money. We have a good time when we go there, and it's great shaking hands with people. There's nothing better than that. But at the end of the day, like even selling merch, like I don't think many people are making enough money to where they're covering the whole trip and merch. Like I went to Tennessee a couple months ago, and we almost sold out of all of our merch at the show. But you got to think like we had, 4 nights in Airbnb for like $500 a night, paying the employees to come, fuel and all that. And it's like, after you're done, dude, I was like, maybe sold $3,000 worth of t-shirts, but I was like $6,000 deep in fuel and time and payroll and all that stuff. So it is tough. And I couldn't imagine doing that on top of, bringing a truck there to compete in a very, very serious way. Not just like, hop on the dyno real quick. They're doing all kinds of stuff. So I got to give them props for what they do out there.
Yeah. And that's going to be kind of my future, is just kind of see how that goes with the blue collar racing stuff, and then also having my truck, how much I'm actually going to be able to go out and race compared to selling merchandise and doing the vendor stuff. So it's going to be a learning curve.
I believe it. I'll eventually get into the racing. I'm just I got to get a building, and a lot bigger of a building. I need to get more employees first, but we'll be coming in a couple of years. You'll see us pop out, and it should be a fun time competing with everyone. So,
of course, it'll be exciting. And one of my good buddies has a shop up in PA too, and that's why I come up there for some races. I'm pretty sure Dirty D's Performance.
Oh yeah, he's like 40 minutes away from me. He's right over in Jersey Shore. I've actually I powder coated a couple things for him for some builds.
Nice. Yeah, he's a real good buddy of mine. Him and me go racing a lot together.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So any builds you've had, like any like super cool builds you've had a hand in lately or in the past couple of years that just something not normal?
Yeah, we G56 swapped a 5th gen. It took us a while. It had a factory ASIN, and basically by the time it left, the truck was running on our own TCM that we built. I have a part-time employee, Dale, who basically handles all the electrical, the deep electrical stuff. I am very, very good with electrical diagnostics and stuff like that. This guy can build you a computer to do something if you want. He can hack things. He's pretty much a wizard. He is a wizard, actually. So, but he took the main reins behind all the electrical. I can't take credit for that. Given I was there through a lot of it, I understand a lot of it. He was the main brains, and without him, I would have gotten it done. I would have eventually gotten it done. I don't know how, but I always find a way. But he was a huge helping hand in that. And basically, a lot of the issues we ran into was for example, we had cruise control. We finally got that to work, and we were going down the road. We went to test it. It was literally 1:30 a.m. We were crunching on this thing one night, and we're like, all right, let's see if cruise control works now. And we kept coding things and then reprogramming the truck through the CAN bus system, one of the CAN system bus bars that's on the passenger side down by your feet behind a trim panel. We kept programming the fucking truck through that. And basically we're like, let's try cruise control. So we put cruise control on. I'm like, oh my God, we got it to work. This is great. So then he's like, try to clutch in and see what happens. And I was like, yeah, let me do that. And I clutched in, and that's one thing you don't think about in the manual is if you have cruise control, the manual, I clutched in, and what did it do? It just revved to the freaking moon. So then basically we went back and we made some code that went inside our TCM that run the truck that basically makes it so that when you're in cruise control, if it sees neutral, we had to get it to redrive for cruise control to work. So we basically coded it so that if the parking brake is not depressed and the clutch switch is not depressed and it's reading vehicle speed, it will automatically default to drive. If it's not reading vehicle speed, it will automatically default to neutral. So basically we had it once we coded it so that it would read mile per hour, we had drive, which made cruise control work. The issue then was when you clutch in, it just revs to the moon, and there's nothing you can do about it. So what we ended up doing was we recoded it so that there was basically an override with the clutch switch that that overrode speed to show drive. So then if you clutched in while there was vehicle speed, it would actually default to neutral, and then because cruise control can't work in neutral, it'd kick cruise control right off. So on that second round of code, we got it so that cruise control worked, it read drive, but then when you clutched in, it overrode the speed and then actually, read neutral on the dash, which then kicked it out of that. And then same thing, like there's a reverse switch on the G56, which is nice. So we have that reverse switch, and it's not like, a lot of people think it's just like hardwired, like, the reverse switch, they just hardwired that in the taillights. Hell no. That reverse switch signal goes into our TCM, and then our TCM sends it back out to the other ECUs to command the, the reverse lights to come on. So that and another big hurdle that we had was there's no speed sensor on a G56. Like on a 48RE, you have a speed sensor. So we could have used that, converted it to the proper reading to get our speed. The G56 doesn't have one, so what we ended up doing with the help of Chase at King Speed was we basically made a tone ring for the drive shaft in the rear that clamped on, it was billet, clamped on to the rear drive shaft, and then I made a bracket that actually gets bolted to the diff, comes off, and then it basically mounts it's actually an LS crankshaft position sensor, mounts that right on that tone ring, and then inside of our TCM, Dale did all the calculations to basically translate that LS crankshaft position sensor with how many teeth are on that wheel to the actual vehicle speed. So all that stuff works properly. And then another really, really big thing that we did that a lot of people also don't know about is we actually pretty much fully defeated traction control on that truck. I had a 2020 fifth gen with a 68, and I was fully tuned, and I just could not do a burnout sometimes. It would just traction control, no matter what you did. And through what we did, we actually ended up coding it so that the engine ECU thinks it's in neutral all the time. And the rest of the truck will operate, park, reverse, neutral, drive, but the ECU always thought it was in neutral. So because of that, it would basically fuel fully all the time. If you're in drive, it then looks for different parameters, and it wants to defuel, which is kind of what we were having. It was like we'd have a lot of power in first, and then we would lose power in second, and each gear you went, you would lose more and more and more power because it was only fueling, we believe, for like first gear. So we then coded the TCM to tell the ECU, hey, we're in neutral all the time. So because of neutral, you can free rev that thing, right? So that did the trick perfectly. So we were able to basically go down the road and bang gears in this thing and have traction control absolutely completely gone. And that was also shown if you look at our YouTube video on it, when said person picked it up, they did a shit ton of burnouts in a muddy field. And you probably won't see another fifth gen doing that, fully spinning, all the tires in the rear without any defueling whatsoever. So that was another big part of it. That was a good size accomplishment. So
nice. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's a hard part, especially on these new trucks. And as an owner standpoint, if you own a new truck and you get something done like that, you want it to work as factory as possible.
Yep.
Because, trucks these days are not cheap. So you want to have every luxury that the truck came with, but sadly they don't offer a manual transmission anymore. So to be able to do that, it's innovative, and it's just a really cool build.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I wish it was something that I could sell, but the amount of work that goes into that and that TCM, like we have all the code, and we have extra TCM sitting here. But it's honestly, it's not something I'm offering just because there's just so much time involved with it. Now, if it was like a 68 truck, you can get a 68 truck to work. It won't work like factory, but like if someone wanted to swap a 68 truck, they could do it with, I believe, a Firepunk Porcupine and then a little bit of wiring. they can get it to work. It's not going to read park reverse neutral drive, which is fine. Some people don't care about that, and I totally understand that. So there is a good way to do it. However, if someone has an ASIN truck, a factory 5th gen with an ASIN, and they want a G56 swap, just don't get a 68. You do not want to try to do that with an ASIN because, as we have proven, it is a giant pain in the butt. Given once I get another shop built and we are able to take on more builds again, if someone hits me up and they're like, hey, I want to do this, and I give them my price, and I'm like, here you go. Yeah, I'll probably do one again. I can't say I won't, but it's definitely something that we're not going to do like a ton of. And the module is plug and play. Like I want to say it's plug and play. It's 99% plug and play. We had to tap for like power and ground in a couple spots. So, I mean, there is that, but like all the factory connectors and everything, they're still there. Everything's there. We even got like the Hemi 5th gens, they have a shifter in a different spot. So like their steering column piece, I modified that and actually got it to fit so that you don't have a shifter there and it actually looks factory. I had to modify the brake pedal so that was skinnier, not as wide, so it fit with the clutch. And then also with the help of Chase at King Speed, we made basically a whole billet center console for this truck that basically sits on top. And then we got a custom shift boot made that matches the leather in the interior, a whole bunch of awesome stuff. And it really, really turned out great.
Yeah, on builds like that, it's all the details that really make it seem factory. And
Yep. And that was the whole thing behind it. Like, a lot of people were like, it's not the first one. And I was just trying to hammer down on the point that it was the first one that actually functions and looks like factory. 100%. You know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference between slapping one in there. Like, I think I just saw someone do it, and they tried to sell it for like $150K. They had like a base model trim level dash put in there, and it was a 68 truck, which they did some stuff and got it to work. But at the end of the day, that thing is not reading park reverse neutral drive or any of that stuff. It's not the same. But again, as I said earlier, some people don't care about, it working like factory. But to me, when I took on that build, that was one thing, was I'm going to make this work like factory. I'm not just going to make it work. I'm going to make it work like factory. And that's exactly what we did.
That's awesome. That's definitely something different, and you don't see it, and you're not gonna see it. I mean, just making the cruise control work. A lot of people probably wouldn't be worried about it, but me personally, if I was driving a truck that expensive, I would want cruise control in it.
Yeah, it's really just a challenge to me. It was more of like we can make this work, and I will make this work no matter what I have to do. And that's kind of the mindset I carry, is when I want to do something, or if I want something, I will get it 110% every single time. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take me to get it, but I will get it every time. And that's I think the attitude a lot of people should have, and a lot of people do have, and will do good things. So.
Exactly. Well, you got anything else? Any other spotlight builds or anything else you want to bring up?
No, I mean, we've done a lot of cool stuff, but I mean, I think that the 5th gen's probably the biggest thing. Yeah, I think that's it. Do you have any other points you want to hit on, or any other questions about like the giveaways or like how the winners chose? And I do know a lot of people like are interested in like the giveaway stuff. If you want to ask a couple questions about that, it's totally up to you.
Yeah. How do you determine the winner and that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So basically, when we want to do a giveaway, we go to a company, and they're basically a sweepstakes company who, I don't know all the legal stuff behind it. That's exactly why I hire them. I have to pay them usually it's about like $5,000 to $10,000 per giveaway. It all depends on how much it costs. And if you want to add like a PO box, because I'll get to that. I'll get to that later. So basically, I hire the sweepstakes company. They give me a form. They say, all right, what's the info on the truck, the VIN, what cash is coming with it, what entry multipliers, what countries do you not want to be able to win it, what states. And right now for this giveaway, we unfortunately, and I'm sorry to all the Californians that are good people that are in here, we have banned California from winning our giveaways because it's just asking for bad things. Even though the trucks we have built and are building are all factory emissions intact, like our red truck and the pink truck, they have 5-inch caps on them that are certified. So that's another thing why we stay away from like the 6.7s and stuff. If they're deleted, if they're not deleted, we'll run them, but we don't want to take any chances with that type of stuff. But anyway, after I do all the paperwork for the giveaway company and give them like the start date, the end date, and they do all that, then what they do is they write up the official rules, and then they register and bond the giveaway. I think like New York and Florida, I think it's like $1,000 or something like that. It's all included in like the $5 to $10 grand I pay them. But they basically register and bond it. They make sure it's all legal. Everything's good to go. It's an official reel. It's not just me picking a number out of a hat or like just a random number generator off Google. I have zero control over it. So basically at the end of the giveaway, I also use an app. So the app is called Viral Sweep. That's what I use in my store. And the company that I use to bond and do all the proper legal stuff with the giveaways is through the same company. So basically what they do is they go in the back end of the app, they export all the entries, which basically when anyone places an order on our website, it will automatically take all their information, how much money they spent. It automatically calculates their entries, and it puts it into a giant CSV file. So basically what they do is they export that, and then they have some sort of system. I have no idea what kind of system they use, but they basically have a system that generates a random winner. And then once they have that, they will email that over to me. And what it'll have is one main winner, and then it'll have usually like 3 to 6 alternate winners. And the reason there's alternates is because if the first person, say they're from California, for example, so they cannot win, maybe they could, we could try to help them get around that. If they're from California, maybe they like could say they're not. I'm not sure. Actually, no, that wouldn't work because their ID and everything, and it's for tax forms. So yeah, that wouldn't work. If someone's from California and they were the number one pick, I would basically look at their order, make sure their order is valid, it didn't get refunded or anything like that, they didn't cancel. And then if they're from California, basically what I would do is then go to that second alternate. And the other thing too is the reason there's alternates, another reason is because no one can win that's like a family member or like a close friend of mine or like an employee or anyone who's like affiliated with me, because that could look bad, and we obviously don't want that. So we have to make sure that the winner is in no way affiliated with me at Full Send Diesel or Full Send Diesel itself. So in the case that the number one winner was not 18 or not from the right state, they can't win. And I think it's only California that can't win right now, I believe. So you can check out our official rules at the bottom of our website if you're ever unsure. But if anyone can't win, it basically goes to the first alternate that's there, and then same thing with that one. If they're, I think actually one of our biggest vendors who spends a lot of money a year, they were actually one of the alternates one time, and it would have obviously gotten skipped right over them because they can't win. So that's pretty much how the selection process gets picked. And then what I do is my sweepstakes company allows me to notify the winner myself. There's another one like LGMD Supply. I think they use a different one. I think that's like Meriden Kane. I actually used her for one, but her prices are like double or triple. So I just use the same guys I use with the app. It's much easier. But anyway, I'm allowed to call the winner and notify them. So if you go on like our Instagram, you'll see the FSD4 winner. It's basically me sitting down at a table, and I announce the winner, and then I call them live, and like they have no idea. They did not get, like, the sweepstakes company didn't already tell them they won. I didn't, like, that is the real deal. So we call them, we let them know they won, and then basically that's all live on Instagram. So after I tell them they won and everything, I'll say, hey, I will contact you right after I get off the phone. Let me just, I got to close out of the live, and then I just have to make the posts to let everyone know you're the winner, and then I'll basically call him back, and that's what I do. Call him back, say, hey, congrats again. And honestly, the most recent winner, Ron, he like still thought it was a scam. Like I talked to him like 2 days later, and he was like, bro, I'm like, it's still sinking in, and I'm like, it's a lot of people think these things are scams, and like I'm sure some of them are. I've seen a lot of these giveaway companies pop up with like fake giveaway rules that are copy and pasted from like someone else's website. So like there are fake ones. You got to watch out for them. They're usually the ones that pop up, and it's like, I don't want to say every person who tries to start a giveaway is a scammer, but I've seen a couple pop up, and I think what happens is they don't generate the revenue that they think they're going to generate, and they're not officially registered and bonded, so they just start making excuses, and then they kind of like disappear, and then no one hears from them again. In my case, because it's actually registered and bonded, and what you can do if you're ever unsure is you can just go into the official rules, and in there somewhere it'll say who the sponsor is, and that's basically who I pay to register and bond the giveaway company. You can actually call them and verify that our giveaways are real or not real, which obviously they're going to be real when you call. But a lot of them will use fake rules, and then they won't have to, and then they'll basically fall off the face of the earth. In my case, with a properly, how do you word this? Properly registered giveaway company, or sweepstakes, there's no option to give it away or not give it away. It's like they take the title and the VIN. Well, actually, no, they don't take the title. They get a picture of the title because they need to make sure it's paid off. And then they also need the VIN and all that other information. So when it comes time, when that ends, part of that sweepstakes company's job is to make sure that I fulfill my end of the deal. So they make sure that the winner got the title, it's signed over into his name, he got the truck as described, and he got the $5,000 cash as described. And that's for our last giveaway. It's, it can change. This giveaway we're doing 5. The next one we might do 10. We might do 20. Who knows? But basically, when it's actually registered and bonded and it's not fake like some of these guys, there is no option. Like if you lose money, it's not like, oh, I lost money, I guess I just won't give it away now. It's like, no, you're giving it away, buddy. You're going to take that L. And yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of funny because I've even seen people do it with like wheels and tires. I actually just saw one the other day, and then luckily they sent everyone's money back, but they didn't make enough money. And then it's just like, bro, you got to commit. Like if you're going to do it and you're going to try to step up and do this type of stuff, you got to commit to it and be all in. You can't I don't know. I think that's just like, it's almost like stealing from customers. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too honest about it. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I think you have a valid point on if you're going to give something away, you stick to it. And even at the end of the day, if you do take a loss, you're still gaining customers.
Yep.
So you might take a loss in the beginning, but 2 years down the road, those customers that you gained keep coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to help you out?
Yep. And that's another thing. I mean, it comes back to exactly what I said earlier. Is my advice is if you're going to run a giveaway, just make sure that you can mentally and financially afford to just give away whatever it is, whatever truck and cash. Make sure you can financially and mentally be able to just give that away to someone without making a dime on it. Because at the end of the day, that's the honest truth behind it. There's all these other giveaway companies. I want to say all of them, a lot of them, they make it look like, well, they do have a lot of money. They do have a lot of money. I will say that. But everyone who like looks up at giveaways because of that is like, everyone who does giveaways is rich. They must make so much money. They're taking like advantage of people. And it's like that. The problem with that is it makes people think that it's so easy to do. So then when they do it and they lose, they either don't give the truck away because they did like an illegal sweepstakes and they were trying it, or you're like me on like my second one that I lost a bunch of money on. Like you got to give it away. Like you own up to that, and that's another reason why it's so important that if you do enter a giveaway, you enter one that has proper official rules, because if they do and it's legit and the customer, if they don't know, they can go and they can call that sweepstakes company. It's like ours is in our official rules on our website right now. They can go down there. I don't try to promote it because my giveaway company would probably be pretty pissed off if there were thousands of people calling every single day. But you can verify it, and if it's verified, then for sure that truck has to be given away with whatever cash is advertised, and there are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not like, oh, sorry, sweepstakes company, can I just cancel this? I didn't make enough money. It's like, nope, that shit's gone. And then another reason why is the fact that they make you, show a picture of the title that's in your name with no lien or lease on it or anything like that, because the last thing you want is some very irresponsible people to try to give a truck away where they owe money on it, and they're like, oh, well, I'll make enough money during the giveaway to pay it off. And that could get you into a very, very big pickle. So that's why it's very important to make sure that the giveaways you're entering are properly registered and bonded. And that way the winner is truly randomly generated. Like I've seen a lot of these raffle creator like giveaways popping up by specifically like YouTubers. I guess it's easier and it's cheaper, but it is actually illegal, and they could totally fudge the numbers on that very easily. As in like Our Case and LGND and Enthusiast and like the other big giveaway companies, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about giving the truck away or who the winner is. It's all clear as day, and it's all picked by a sweepstakes company at the end of the day, not a little random name generator on a website that doesn't have official rules. It's not properly registered and bonded, and all that good stuff. And I'm not saying that anyone who does one of those raffle creator giveaways is a scam. I'm not saying that, but it's just those technically are illegal, and I would definitely just be careful which ones you enter into. So
that's a good point. So what's the easiest way for people to contact you? I know you guys got the website. You guys are on YouTube, correct?
Yep, we got fullsenddiesel.com. Our YouTube, I actually just changed from Full Send Diesel. I changed it to Kevin_Full Send Diesel. And the reason for that is I want to put a little bit more content out that's like a little bit more screwing around, as opposed to like the very professional stuff. So I changed it to Kevin at Full Send Diesel to try to make it a little bit more like influencer type, not a brand type. I do not consider myself like a social media influencer. I honestly, like, I have a YouTube. We're on a YouTube podcast right now, but I really do not like YouTubers. I will say that I've worked with many of them, and yeah, you wouldn't believe the behind the scenes stuff that these guys do. A lot of them are just straight dirtbags, and it's sad to see that you can like lie your way to the top these days and just fake it to make it. And the honest ones and the guys who are putting in the work, it takes them a bit longer. And I don't know. It's sad to see how the world works these days. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then you guys are on Instagram and Facebook also?
Yep. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, pretty much everything. And if anyone ever needs to get a hold of us, they can go on our website. All of our contact information is there. Our phone number is 908-538-0743. You guys can call, text anytime. If you got order questions or anything like that, shoot over a text, and we'll get you taken care of. If that doesn't work, you can contact us at sales@fullsenddiesel.com. I'm going to keep my personal business email on the down low so don't get bombarded.
Understand that.
My wife runs a sales one. My wife Haley runs a sales one, so she'll take that one.
Yeah, and that's good that it's family ran too. That your wife's a part of it. You don't have just everybody working under you, and you don't actually get your hands dirty. You have a part in it, and that.
Bro, I'll tell you right now, the only ones running Full Send Diesel are me and my wife. My one employee actually just left yesterday to go to the Dominican Republic for a week. He goes out there with like churches and helps like build stuff and just helps the community out there with his family. So he's out there for a week. So you got my wife doing all the customer service emails. I'm grabbing the phone from her when we got technical questions while I'm out in the shop trying to, weld freaking compound kits. Then she's in here making lines. I'm helping her if she needs stuff. But normally on regular day-to-day operations, it is me, my wife, and our one employee, John. All three of us are full-time. I do take on part-time employees here and there. But right now we're pretty much kind of just chilling, waiting for the possible house and shop that I'm going to be buying, hopefully. Put an offer in, it got accepted, and I'm just waiting to hear back on the appraisal. So we'll see how that goes, but it's going to take me a bit to get a shop going. I do have a part-time video guy, Jake. He actually graduates high school on the 8th of June, and he hopefully will be coming to work for us full-time. The only issue with that is right now he's about 2 hours away. Where I'm planning on moving, he'll be about an hour and 20 away, but that's still a decent bit. Still a decent bit to move out. So we'll have to work out the logistics of that. But once we're in a new facility with more room, we're gonna be growing. We're gonna be adding employees. We got equipment, a ton of new equipment, manufacturing equipment in. We're gonna be taking everything to a different level. So just right now we're kind of chilling and waiting to get into a new shop, hopefully.
All right, you got a tip of the week for us?
Yes, sir. Tip of the week, guys, is if someone tells you something's impossible or that you can't do it, use that as determination, and you will go out and you will prove them wrong, no matter how long and how hard it takes and how much work it is. You guys got to get out there, stay persistent, and chase your dreams. Don't give up. That's my tip of the week.
That's a great one.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Look forward to having you on again, and have a good one, man.
Thank you, sir. You have a great day.
You do the same. And that ends the newest episode of Blue Collar Racing Podcast. Until next time.